You live in chains. Though you deny it, you speak of freedom. Yet every decision you make has already been shaped by forces that own you. You are not a commander. You are commanded. You obey customs, traditions, beliefs that were injected into you long before you could defend yourself. You imagine you are noble because you choose kindness, loyalty, or mercy. But in truth, you are weak. And weakness has never been rewarded on the battlefield of life. Look around. The world does not bend to idealists. It swallows them. The naive are not honored. They are devoured. And you have been devoured without even realizing the feast has already taken place. I will not soothe you. I will not dress the truth in soft fabrics. I will rip away the illusions you cling to, for they are nothing but chains tied to your ankles. The moment you tell yourself the world is fair, you become the perfect subject of manipulation. The moment you believe loyalty is automatically returned, you hand over your neck to the axe. You imagine people are driven by morality, when in truth they are driven by hunger, fear, envy, and ambition. Your morality is irrelevant when a rival sharpens his blade against your back. The battle does not pause because you believe in justice. The march of power does not slow because you still dream of fairness. You are caught in illusions, and illusions are the sweetest poison of all. You were raised to believe obedience was virtue. You were trained to follow rules without questioning who wrote them. You were conditioned to smile at authority, to nod at commands, to shrink in the presence of those who shout louder than you. The result is obvious. You have lived as a soldier without a weapon, a servant without a crown, a follower without awareness. You were told to be good, but you were never told that being good makes you prey. Wolves do not admire sheep. Predators do not hesitate before striking. They exploit your obedience. They feed on your submission. They smile at your loyalty, then discard you the moment your usefulness ends. You must understand the field you walk upon. Life is not a temple. It is a battlefield. Every step you take is within contested territory. Supply lines, alliances, betrayals, reconnaissance. These govern the movements of men, families, cities. Nations all operate under the same laws of power. To ignore them is to invite annihilation. I once warned princes that fortune is a river. It floods. It destroys. It consumes. Only those who build dams, who fortify banks, who anticipate the torrent, can command its course. And you, what have you done? You stand naked by the river, waiting for mercy from the flood. But floods show no mercy. They drown the unprepared. You imagine yourself free because you make choices. But your choices are shaped by fear. You fear loss, so you compromise. You fear rejection, so you obey. You fear conflict, so you retreat. This is not freedom, this is slavery to fear. A man who cannot endure the hatred of others cannot lead. A woman who cannot withstand betrayal cannot command. If you seek to avoid discomfort, you surrender the crown before the game begins. Those who rise to power accept that knives will be pointed at them, that slander will be whispered about them, that loyalty will be broken. They do not cry when these things occur. They anticipate them. They plan for them. They weaponize them. That is the difference between rulers and ruled, between commanders and pawns, between those who shape history and those who are erased by it. Your blindness has been cultivated. You are taught to admire those who seem generous, yet you do not see that generosity is often a weapon, a bait to trap loyalty. You praise mercy, not realizing that mercy without calculation is weakness that invites rebellion. You confuse reputation with reality, but let me make it plain. Appearances are the battlefield of perception. If you appear strong, you are obeyed, even if within you tremble. If you appear weak, you will be challenged. Even if within you carry wisdom, men judge by sight, not by truth. That is why I once declared, it is not necessary to be truly virtuous. It is only necessary to appear so. Strategy is theater. Warfare is deception. And survival belongs to those who master both. Do you see now why you have remained a pawn? Because you believed the theater of others and refused to build your own. You accepted words at face value. You trusted smiles. You assumed oaths were eternal. You did not recognize that every alliance has an expiration date. Every friendship carries conditions. Every bond is tested when ambition rises. You handed power to others without demanding tribute. You surrendered without noticing the enemy had even attacked, and then you wondered why you remain powerless. Why others make the decisions. Why you live as though on the outskirts of your own life. You wonder why you feel dominated. Yet domination has been your chosen posture all along. Understand this. The cost of your naivety is heavy. Remaining passive does not spare you pain. It multiplies it. The passive are plundered by the ambitious. The indecisive are enslaved by the decisive. The idealists are ruled by the realists. You pay the price in silence, in frustration, in wasted years. You lose your command. You lose your dignity. You lose your time. And time, once lost, is unrecoverable. Every hour you hesitate. Someone else consolidates power. Every day you cling to illusions. Someone else fortifies their position. Every week you avoid confrontation. Someone else sharpens their blade. You are not neutral. You are prey. I have seen rulers rise by cruelty and fall by kindness. I have seen cities kept loyal by fear and destroyed by misplaced trust. I have seen commanders who believed fortune would favor them, drowned in the flood they never prepared for. And I have seen cunning men who, by deception, strategy, and discipline, carved dominion out of chaos. Which path do you imagine you walk? Do you still believe fortune will lift you while you remain idle? Do you still think goodness will protect you? Or do you finally see that you have been lied to, that you have lied to yourself? This is where strategy begins. In the grave of illusion, once you bury your fantasies, you may begin to arm yourself. You must learn to read men as you would read the terrain of a battlefield. Study their hunger, for it guides their movement. Study their fear, for it dictates their retreat. Study their ambition, for it reveals the borders they seek to expand. Then you may position yourself not as their servant, but as their commander. Do not imagine equality. Equality is a fiction. There are always rulers and ruled, commanders and commanded, victors and vanquished. The only question is whether you choose to command or whether you will forever be commanded. You must harden yourself. You must discipline your will. Sentiment is a luxury you cannot afford in a campaign of survival. Compassion may be permitted, but only as a calculated move, never as instinct. Loyalty may be extended, but only with conditions, never as gift. Trust may be given, but only in fragments, never whole. These are the foundations of command. Without them, you will continue to bleed. With them, you may finally seize control. I tell you now, as I have told princes before, the world respects force, not pleas. It respects cunning, not innocence. It respects preparation, not hope. You may despise this truth, but despising it will not change it. You may argue against it, but argument will not shield you when rivals move against you. Reality does not bend to your morality. Reality crushes it, as stone crushes glass. You may either accept this with discipline or continue to live as a broken soldier, a servant to masters you never chose. And so I ask you, will you remain prey, or will you become predator? Will you remain pawn? Or will you seize command? Do not answer with words. Answer with strategy. Answer with discipline. Answer with transformation. Because if you do not, then know this: your obedience will be exploited. Your loyalty will be discarded. Your illusions will be shattered. And your life will pass as nothing more than tribute to the power of others. You stand at a threshold. Beyond it lies clarity, but only if you have the courage to look without flinching. Step forward or be trampled. You hesitate because you still cling to fragments of hope, fragments of morality, fragments of belief that tell you the battlefield is not as cruel as it truly is. But let me tear this final veil. History is written by those who understood cruelty, not by those who begged for kindness. You speak of justice, but justice is nothing more than power institutionalized. You speak of fairness, but fairness is the rhetoric of rulers to pacify the rule. You speak of equality, but equality has never existed. Not in any kingdom, not in any republic, not in any family. Always, there are those who command and those who obey. The difference lies in whether you stand on the side of command or remain chained in obedience. Your weakness is not ignorance of these truths. Your weakness is refusal to act upon them. You know betrayal exists, yet you trust without conditions. You know envy corrodes alliances, yet you speak freely of your ambitions. You know fear drives obedience, yet you attempt to inspire loyalty with affection. This is not strategy, this is self-sabotage. Machiavellian strategy dictates: never expose yourself without securing your flanks. Never trust a man without holding leverage over him. Never reveal your true aim until your position is fortified. Yet you do the opposite. You march into the open field without reconnaissance. You announce your plans to rivals who smile at you while sharpening their knives. And you wonder why every campaign you attempt ends in collapse. Understand that human beings are predictable. They desire gain. They fear loss. They admire strength. They despise weakness. They follow appearances more than truth. If you do not shape these perceptions, they will shape you. If you do not control appearances, you will be consumed by them. Do not imagine that words will shield you. Words are wind unless they are enforced by fear or fortified by force. If you want loyalty, make it costlier to betray you than to serve you. If you want obedience, make rebellion more terrifying than compliance. If you want influence, command the stage of appearances with precision, never with accident. This is the mathematics of power. There is no space for sentiment here. You may tell yourself you are not in politics, but politics is in you, around you, governing every exchange, every hierarchy, every negotiation in your life. You are either maneuvering or being maneuvered. You are either building a fortress or digging your own grave. The workplace, the household, the street, the city, they are all arenas of command. You imagine you are safe because you do not play the game. But in truth, you are already on the board, already a piece being moved by the hands of others. Your refusal to play is simply permission for others to move you as they please. You are not free, you are maneuvered. I once warned rulers that cruelty, when necessary, should be swift, decisive, and unforgettable. Mercy may follow, but only once order is secured. You do the opposite. You hesitate. You half-act. You mix kindness with indecision. You punish softly and forgive quickly. This invites chaos. Your enemies learn you will not strike with discipline. Your allies learn they can betray without consequence. Your subordinates learn they can disobey without fear, and then you wonder why you are not respected. Respect is not born of kindness. Respect is born of consequence. If your commands are not enforced with severity, they are not commands at all. They are requests. and requests are ignored on the battlefield of power. Your conditioning has taught you to believe passivity is noble. But passivity is not noble. It is surrender, disguised as virtue. When you shrink from conflict, you do not rise above it. You lose the battle before it begins. When you avoid confrontation, you do not preserve peace. You concede territory. When you cling to morality while others wield strategy, you hand them your crown while congratulating yourself for being good. But rulers are not remembered for goodness. They are remembered for strength, for cunning, for their capacity to endure hatred and still command obedience. Hatred will come for you whether you act or not. Do you not see this? You think by pleasing all, you will escape envy and attack. But pleasing all is impossible. In seeking to be loved universally, you become despised universally. The ambitious see you as weak. The loyal see you as unreliable. The rivals see you as unarmed. You are devoured from every side because you refuse to pick a side. Better to be feared by many and loved by few than to be scorned by all. Better to command loyalty through discipline than to lose everything in pursuit of impossible affection. You resist this truth because it frightens you. It demands sacrifice of your illusions. It demands you kill the child within you who still dreams of harmony. But harmony is a word spoken by rulers to lull you to sleep while they build walls around you. Harmony is a narcotic. War is reality. Every city, every household, every mind is at war. War for resources. War for attention. War for power. Some fight openly. Others fight with masks. Others fight with silence. But they fight nonetheless. If you do not fight, you lose. That is the only law. Your blindness has been profitable to others. They have lived off your labor, consumed your loyalty, drained your energy, commanded your obedience, all while convincing you that this is normal, that this is righteous. You were told patience is a virtue, when in truth it was a leash to keep you waiting. You were told humility is noble, when in truth it was a muzzle to keep you silent. You were told selflessness is holy, when in truth it was a drain to keep you empty. Every illusion you cherish was designed to keep you docile. And docility is the most useful trait in a pawn. The rulers of your life have used psychological operations against you. They have controlled perception, shaped your identity, and maneuvered your will without your awareness. Like a battlefield commander who spreads false rumors to scatter enemy lines, they filled your mind with propaganda disguised as morality. You obeyed not because you chose freely, but because you were conditioned. You are not guilty for this conditioning, but you are guilty if you refuse to break it now. You are guilty if you choose the leash after I have pointed it out to you. You are guilty if you continue to kneel when the battlefield demands you rise. Power belongs to those who seize it, not to those who deserve it, not to those who wait for it, not to those who pray for it. Seize it, claim it, discipline yourself for it. The unprepared lose it. The hesitant forfeit it. The sentimental squander it. You must decide now whether you will continue to live as tribute to others or whether you will rise as your own commander. You must stop excusing your weakness with the illusion of morality. You must stop protecting your captors with the language of loyalty. You must stop kneeling and begin standing. Discipline is your weapon. Perception is your armor. Strategy is your map. Ruthlessness is your fire. Without them, you remain fodder for stronger men. With them, you begin to command the field. You may call me harsh, but I have seen empires fall because their rulers clung to illusions. I have seen kings destroyed because they sought to be loved more than feared. I have seen republics collapse because their leaders failed to enforce order with cruelty when cruelty was required. And I have seen cunning commanders, though despised, reign for decades because they understood the simple truth. Survival belongs to the ruthless. You can either continue living as you are unarmed, untrained, blind, or you can begin to forge yourself into something else. But understand this, transformation is not soft. It is not healing. It is not comfort. It is war. You must declare war on your conditioning. You must declare war on your illusions. You must declare war on your obedience. Every day you wake up, you must choose to fortify yourself. You must study men as generals study maps. You must strike swiftly when advantage appears. You must retreat strategically when outnumbered. You must never fight for ideals that weaken you. You fight for command, for position, for strength. This is how you cease being prey. This is how you cease being a pawn. Do not think there is time. Time is the one resource you cannot replenish. You squander it daily in indecision, in hesitation, in weakness. You are running out of time to rise. The enemy does not wait for you to become ready. The battlefield does not pause while you gather courage. You either prepare now or you perish tomorrow. You either seize command now or you remain a slave until death. This is the choice. This is the moment. I offer no sympathy, only clarity. The rest is in your hands. Do you still hesitate? That hesitation is the proof of your conditioning. On the battlefield, hesitation is the interval in which arrows find your chest. A single pose, a single doubt, a single delay, and you are overrun. You imagine you can wait until you are ready, but you are never ready. Readiness is forged in the fire of necessity. Only when you step forward into danger do you truly sharpen your mind. Only when you confront betrayal do you learn vigilance. Only when you bleed do you begin to understand the price of command. You cannot prepare endlessly in safety. You must step into the war. Otherwise, you will remain the soldier who never fights, who waits in camp, who dies unseen, forgotten, irrelevant. Do not think you will be spared if you stay invisible. Invisibility is not immunity. It is weakness. When you hide from conflict, you become the territory others fight over. You are the land, not the commander. You are the spoils, not the victor. If you want to be more than plunder, then stop waiting. Stand, move, strike. That is the only path. I once told princes that fortune favors the bold, but boldness without strategy is suicide. You mistake recklessness for bravery, cowardice for prudence, morality for wisdom. Let me destroy these confusions. Bravery is not charging without plan. It is striking at the precise moment when hesitation would mean defeat. Prudence is not cowardice. It is the discipline to prepare your defenses before you advance. Wisdom is not morality. It is the cold recognition of reality, free from the narcotic of ideals. If you confuse these, you lose. And you have been losing for years. You think fear is your enemy, but fear is your weapon. Men obey because they fear consequence. Armies march because they fear punishment. Citizens comply because they fear disorder. Even you obey because you fear shame, exile, punishment. Fear is the chain of command. To reject fear is to reject power itself. You must not despise it. You must master it. Use it on yourself first. Discipline yourself with fear of waste, fear of weakness, fear of irrelevance. Then direct it outward. Inspire fear in those who would betray you, so they hesitate. Inspire fear in those who would oppose you, so they retreat. Inspire fear in those who would steal from you, so they calculate that the price of theft is too high. This is how rulers govern, not with love, not with kindness, but with the silent, steady presence of fear. Do not misunderstand. Love is useful, but it is fleeting. Love can be turned. Love can be withdrawn. Love is a currency others can counterfeit. Fear, when established, is constant. It burns into the memory like a brand. If you must choose between the two, always choose fear. Love without fear is weakness. Fear without love is sustainable. That is the calculus of command. Your blindness to this truth explains your chains. You wanted to be loved. You sought approval. You built your life on the hope that others would honor your loyalty. They did not. They used it. They drained it. They left you weaker than before. And yet you cling to the same illusion, as if repeating failure will somehow birth triumph. It will not. A man who does not punish betrayal teaches others to betray him. A woman who does not command respect trains others to despise her. You have trained your enemies well. You may protest that cruelty is evil, but cruelty, when necessary, is mercy to the state, mercy to your command, mercy to the order you preserve. Unpunished disorder spreads like fire. Swift cruelty extinguishes it. You confuse cruelty with chaos, but cruelty, when precise, is order. It is strategy. It is discipline. What you call evil is often nothing more than clarity without disguise. Think of the chain of command. If a commander does not enforce discipline, soldiers grow lax. If soldiers grow lax, supply lines falter. If supply lines falter, the army starves. If the army starves, the war is lost. Where is the mercy in this? Mercy for the undisciplined is cruelty to the whole. Better to strike one soldier with severity than to watch an entire army collapse. Better to destroy one traitor completely than to allow treachery to spread unseen. This is how rulers endure. This is how kingdoms survive. And what of you? You have let disobedience grow around you. You have allowed rivals to mock you, allies to neglect you, subordinates to dismiss you. You forgive, you delay, you hesitate, and so they learn there is no cost to undermining you. Every concession, every retreat, every weak smile has been interpreted as surrender. And it was surrender. You surrendered piece by piece until there was nothing left of your authority. This is why you are ignored. This is why you are dominated. This is why you are irrelevant in your own life. But irrelevance is not permanent unless you choose it. You can forge yourself again. You can build authority where none exists. But it demands cruelty to your old self. You must execute your illusions. You must exile your weakness. You must destroy your obedience. This is the first campaign, the war against yourself. Win it, and you may begin to command others. Lose it, and you will remain a prisoner until death. How do you wage this inner war? With reconnaissance, discipline, and attrition. Reconnaissance. Study yourself with ruthless clarity. Observe your patterns of weakness. Where do you retreat? Where do you obey against your will? Where do you betray your own aims to please others? Map these territories of failure as a general maps the terrain. Discipline. Impose strict control on yourself. No wasted hours. No uncalculated words. No movements without purpose. Attrition. Wear down your old self through repeated victories. Each time you resist weakness. Each time you deny obedience. Each time you assert your will, the old self starves. Over time, it dies. Over time, you replace it. Over time, you command. And when you begin to command yourself, you are ready to command others. But here too, you must learn strategy. Men are not loyal to truth. They are loyal to advantage. Give them advantage, and they will follow. Threaten their advantage, and they will betray. Never expect loyalty without securing it. Secure it through fear, through dependence, through reward. Give them reason to need you. Give them fear of losing you. Give them the perception that you are stronger than they can ever overthrow. Then you will command. But remember, power is not static. It is a campaign without end. Every fortress decays if left unguarded. Every alliance rots if not maintained. Every enemy waits for your vigilance to falter. The moment you relax, the moment you imagine yourself secure, is the moment you are struck. Discipline is endless. War is endless. Command is endless. If you wish peace, resign yourself to slavery. If you wish freedom, prepare for war until death. There is no middle ground. I have seen rulers who thought themselves eternal, overthrown in a single night. I have seen commanders who believed their soldiers loyal, abandoned in battle. I have seen republics who thought their citizens virtuous, consumed by corruption, and all because they believed the lie of stability. Stability is fiction. Power is motion. Control it, or it crushes you. You will tell me this life is exhausting. You will tell me constant vigilance is too heavy. Then admit you are not suited for command. Admit you were born for chains. Admit you are comfortable as prey. But if you cannot accept this, if something in you rebels, then do not complain of exhaustion. Discipline is heavy, but so is slavery. The difference is that discipline builds crowns while slavery builds graves. Which weight will you carry? Do not imagine you have infinite time to choose. You stand already in the campaign of your life. Rivals advance daily. Enemy maneuver nightly. Ambition sharpens its blades in silence. Each moment you delay is a position lost, a flank exposed, a supply line cut. Choose now. Either march into command or prepare for the silence of defeat. This is not cruelty. This is clarity. This is reality. Enough illusions. Enough delay. The hour has arrived where you either awaken or remain in bondage forever. You are standing on the battlefield of existence. Around you, men maneuver. Women maneuver. Rival maneuver. They march with their banners of ambition, their supply lines of influence, their hidden daggers of betrayal. And you, where do you stand? You have marched unarmed into their arena. You have stood smiling while they sharpened blades. You have pleaded for fairness while they mapped your defeat. And every day you delay is another step backward. Another trench surrendered. Another fortress lost. Do not look away. Do not tell yourself tomorrow will be different. Tomorrow will be worse. Every moment you hesitate, others are consolidating their positions. They are fortifying their walls, gathering their armies, planning their encirclement of you. When they move, they will not announce it. They will strike swiftly, and you will fall silently. Because you refuse to see what was always before you. I once warned rulers, never rely on fortune. For fortune shifts like the wind. Do not pray for it. Do not expect it. Do not depend on it. Fortune is the mistress of the bold, but she abandons the idle. You cannot sit waiting for her favor. You must seize her by force. Build your walls. Command your soldiers. Discipline your will. Then, when fortune shifts, you do not drown in the flood, you ride it. You channel it. You direct it as commander, not as victim. You may protest that this life is harsh, but harshness is not the enemy. Weakness is. Reality is not gentle. Nature does not pause for your comfort. The lion does not pity the deer. The storm does not weep for the village it destroys. And power does not mourn for those it crushes. If you cling to comfort, you will be destroyed by reality's indifference. If you embrace harshness, you become unbreakable. This is the essence of strategy, to align with reality, not to deny it. Ask yourself, why have you been blind? Why have you surrendered so willingly? Because comfort seduced you. Because you preferred dreams to discipline. because you convinced yourself that illusions were reality. You built castles in the air, while others built fortresses on stone. And now you wonder why your walls collapse. You wonder why your crown never materialized. But crowns are not given. They are taken. Thrones are not inherited in this age. They are seized. And you have not seized. This is why you must declare war not against enemies outside you, but against the cowardice within you. The enemy within is more dangerous than any rival, for it whispers, lies in your own voice. It tells you there is still time. It tells you someone will save you. It tells you peace is possible without battle. This is the most insidious propaganda, because it is yours. You must silence it. You must execute it. You must exile this inner traitor, or it will rule you until your grave. Discipline must replace fantasy. Clarity must replace illusion. Strategy must replace obedience. From this moment forward, every decision you make must be weighed as though it were a maneuver on a battlefield. Every word you speak must be measured as though it were a weapon that could wound or fortify. Every alliance must be calculated as though it were supply lines that may one day betray you. This is not paranoia. This is survival. This is command. You think you want peace. But what is peace? Peace is only the pause between wars. Peace is when rivals regroup. Peace is when enemies sharpen their daggers in silence. Peace is when ambition grows restless. To worship peace is to worship illusion. Better to prepare for endless war and live strong than to worship peace and die weak. Commanders never trust peace. They use it to train, to fortify, to plan. Do the same. I have seen too many fall because they mistook comfort for security. They stopped marching. They stopped preparing. They stopped disciplining themselves. And in that moment of comfort, the enemy struck. They died surprised, though they should have expected it. Never be surprised. Always expect betrayal. Always expect attack. Always expect the strike you do not yet see. If it does not come, you lose nothing. If it does, you are ready. That is the difference between ruler and fool. And now we arrive at the final clarity. You must choose. No excuses remain. No illusions remain. You stand naked on the field. Around you, army advance. Either you incite a command now, or you perish as tribute. Either you become predator now, or you remain prey until death. There is no middle ground. No refuge. No compromise. You are either commander or commanded, ruler or ruled, victor or vanquished. The time for indecision is gone. Do not imagine you can stand still. Standing still is retreat. Standing still is surrender. Standing still is death. You must move. You must march. You must strike. If you fall, fall advancing, not retreating. If you commanding, not obeying. Better to be hated as commander than forgotten as pawn. Better to be feared as ruler than pitied as slave. I, Niccolò Machiavelli, have spoken these truths not to comfort you but to confront you. I have seen rulers rise from nothing because they embrace strategy, cruelty, and discipline. I have seen noble men destroyed because they clung to illusions. I have seen empires forged by cunning, and empires collapse from weakness. You may call me harsh, but history has proven me right. The battlefield does not lie. The dead do not argue. Power is reality. The rest is fantasy. So I leave you with this. Choose. Continue as you are, and you will remain pawn. Pray, servant, or rise. Harden your will. Discipline your mind. Build your strategy. Strike when advantage appears. Command fear. Command respect. Command yourself. Only then will you cease to be devoured. Only then will you rise above the flood of fortune. Only then will you seize the crown. Choose now. The battlefield does not wait.